Okay, so I'm about to start filming tomorrow's lesson example, demonstration, whatever you want to call it. But as I just pointed out in the picture I just posted on WhatsApp, I've waited all day in amazing weather, and now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's raining everywhere, and there's just showers. It's not raining on me yet, but I'm going to give it a go. But it looks, I'm hoping it's going to be a good sunset. Right. First of all, this is another demonstration with a palette knife about working quickly and getting something down on paper, down on board. Now, I'll back this up, so I won't wish on too much. I'll back this up with an email which will explain a few things. First of all, though, I'm on a piece of board. I'm going to use palette knife oils, and this will work a bit like last week's. I will talk, and there'll be a thingy, what do you call it, a time lapse, and then I'll pause, explain something, then keep coming to the time lapse. Right, basically with a sunset you have probably three things going on. You have the foreground below the horizon, then you have the colours of the sunset, the lighter colours, and then you have the dark colours of the cloud. Ideally, what I tend to do is I prime something, a board, a darker colour, or a colour which I think will be predominant in the sky. This is a sort of combination of blue and crimson. Right, the main thing is, whatever you're using, if you overmix your light yellowy colours, the warm colours, and you mix them over with your dark moody sky colours, you are going to end up with green, which is what you don't want. So before, when we did the beach scene, I said work below the horizon and above the horizon. This time we've also got to work into below the horizon, above the horizon, but this time we've got to split the sky into what we think is going to be the band of light, these colours, and then the band of blue. With acrylic, you can put down one set of colours, and when it's dry, quickly go over them. With oil, you've got to work about, you don't want to mix them up too much. So you've got to think of those three zones. Okay, right. I'm now going to quickly put a load of colours on with a palette knife. And as I said in the tip, get on with the paint and get it on. So it'll be a time lapse now, then I'll pause and talk as I keep going. So now we've got some zones of colour. We've got this kind of, I suppose, quite stormy colour up here, a bit of crimson, a bit of ultramarine, and blue, another cobalt blue. Then we've got a lighter blue and a bit less crimson and more white in this kind of mid-zone, which I don't know, if you probably can't see. If you look at this, I look at the sky. Then we've got the kind of horizon colours, and then we've got some water, and then we've got the marsh. Now, the point was, I've just got down these colours. They're not exact, they're not right, there's errors and there's all sorts, but they're now down, and now you've got to now sort of work into them and work out what's going on and what's going where. But basically at the moment I've tried to separate them slightly so they're not touching, so I'm not going to get that kind of mixture of greens that I talked about earlier. So now I'm going to work, I think, I'm going to go back into the sky and work on the dark colours, and I'm going to work from the top, and then I'm going to go into the lighter, and then eventually go back with the yellows, and then do the opposite. And then when I'm at that stage, and I'll probably talk to you again. I'm going to keep painting and talking at the same time, so hope you can hear me. I'm going to, in a second, turn around and pan the camera, but what's happened is it started raining, not hard, but quite heavy spots, so I had to turn everything round and to get so that the rain's coming across me. Okay. Also, the sky, which is typical of a sunset, is completely changed because the cloud has changed. So what I did is scraped right back to the board, and I've put put on a load of white, and you'll see in a second why, in this kind of area up here. It's getting a bit muddy, and I'm mixing, it's getting quite heavy to sort of mix the colours, but I'm trying to get the white on and let the white just quick drying white, and I'm hoping that it'll dry so I can get some yellow and sort of reds onto it, because I've got a feeling, there's a bit of prediction here, that as in the next 20 minutes or so, this is going to kind of highlight and shoot out, and then I can work on the sort of darker clouds again as they sort of fill in the foreground. So I'm not going to do this all time lapse, it's getting a bit awkward. I'm going to keep trying, but the camera will turn around and you'll see the sky I'm doing. What I'm now doing is I'm just rubbing it back with the cloth to get back to the board, because it's starting to sort of get quite muddy. And that's what I was saying earlier in the tips. I called it tonking. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's what I was told, and perhaps the guy was having a laugh. But now I'm sort of just blending back using and removing some of the paint, okay? And also, as the picture's changing, sort of altering what's going on down here. So now that's kind of bashed back a bend. Now I'm going to put a load more paint on, okay? It's now raining quite heavily, but anyway, if you look at the sky over there, you can see this kind of light patch. So what I'm going to do, as I said, I put some white down there, and I think it's going to start sort of becoming quite red. So if you come back to the board now, it's actually the distant sort of colours I'm putting on. So I'm kind of over egging it slightly. So that's that light patch. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the clouds again, but say it's because it's raining heavily, I can't time lapse it because the video will get, or the camera will get ruined. So I'll keep cutting back when I think I'm hopefully doing something which I think might be useful to you. Okay, the sky is quite dramatic, but it's not what I was intending. So it's not. It is a sunset, but it's more about the kind of rain. But I'm going to keep trying to get it. Now, what I want to show you, if you span around to the horizon again in a second, and I'll keep chatting, you can see there's some really low red right down. You can see the kind of rain on the horizon as well. And I'm sort of trying to remember that, so that when I get there, it's when you're painting sort of something like this plein air, you have to remember what's going on and sort of picture it in your mind and come back to it. So I'm remembering those kind of reds. So I'm still working on the cloud at the moment, which is, I've got so much rain in the bloody oil. It just keeps lifting, but I kind of want to get it right, so I'm going to keep trying. But at some point I'm going to put some red across that stripe. I've got a bit of reflection in the water. The marsh has kind of disappeared now. It was sort of purpley, but it's kind of just sort of a dark colour now. So I'm going to keep working on this, and in a minute, and if it stops raining, I'll come back to you and show you some more. But you can see now where the water's kind of getting into the paint and it's kind of lifting, but it makes it challenging, but it makes it fun as well. So anyway. Right, in the end I had to come inside, mainly because, well, lots of reasons, but it was too wet. It absolutely poured down and everything got soaked. And although you can work outside in the rain, it kept, I mean, in those this oil, it just kept washing off. But what I tried to do is get the basics on, and then I sort of rubbed it back a bit so to get it back to some sort of form. And then I brought it inside. Oh, the other reason I had to stop, it just got so dark I couldn't see. And so I've carried on working from memory up to point and just tried to get this loose impression of what was going on. So that'll kind of conclude the video, and I'll post the video, and tomorrow morning when I come back to this I will back up the video, which is a bit odd because it wasn't what I intended. That's the problem about painting plein air. But I'll go through what I wanted you to try and achieve, and I'll try and explain it in the write-up. Okay, so see you hopefully all in the morning. Bye.